Welcome back, students. In my previous class, I have given you the how can apply, what is the procedure to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law in any question. Today I am going to give you the question which is based upon the KVL. You have to calculate what is the amount of the current flowing through this 4 ohm resistor. One method is with the help of combination of cell. You can also find this one, but here it is mentioned. I am taking the very easy question, but not this kind of question. Very different types of the questions are available, but starting with the very easy question. After that, I will raise the complexity of the question. So you see here, this is very simple question. This is a 4 volt cell. Here the 4 ohm resistor is connected here, and this 10 volt cell, and this is a 2 ohm resistor, and there is a 4 ohm resistor is here. And in the question, find current flowing in 4 ohm resistor using KVL. So here it's mentioned the question, using KVL you have to find with the help of current flowing in this 4 ohm resistor. Right? So what is our first step? Our first step, give the nomenclature of the mesh. So I am giving the nomenclature. This is the P, Q, R, S, T, U. Right? This is our first step, give the nomenclature of the mesh. So here the two mesh is here, mesh 1 and mesh 2. What is the name of the mesh 1? Mesh 1's name is PQRUP, the close path. So starting from the P point, PQRUP. This is the mesh 1. And the mesh 2 is URSTU. You can start from anywhere. You can start from this side, SRUTS, like this one. Anywhere. So this is your the first step, give the nomenclature of the mesh. So here two mesh and already I have given the nomenclature. The second step is what? Assume the mesh current. Second, you have to take the direction of the mesh. So here I am taking this mesh 1 current direction. Again, in this particular mesh there is only one cell of 10 volt. So I am taking the mesh direction like this one and giving the name of that current is I1. Again, no need to worry. If our assumed direction is wrong, then mathematically the answer will correct itself. Mathematically, our value of the I1 will be in the negative. Value of the I1 will be negative. So I am taking like this one, I1 direction. Second, this is the 4 volt and this is the 10 volt. So in these two cells, this 10 volt, I think it is dominating. So I am taking the direction like this one. So it is I2. Again the same thing, if it is wrong, automatically the mathematics will correct the answer. So second step, assume the mesh current. Right? I already mentioned the assume current. Now just apply the KVL in the different mesh. I am applying the KVL in the mesh 1. So on applying KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, in mesh, or also you can name the loop, in loop or the mesh. I already mentioned mesh and loop both are same. The only difference is that mesh is the shortest loop. Right? Mesh is the shortest loop. So here in the mesh, I am starting from this T point. You can start from any point. You can start from Q point, R point or U point. Any start point. But in which point you are starting, the same you have to end up. Right? So I am giving the mesh name P, Q, R, U, P. Right? Starting from the P and end to the P. P, Q, R, U, P. Clear? This is the mesh. And in this mesh, I am following the, I am going to apply the KVL. Right? So, what is the statement? You have to take the sum of all the potentials. Sum of all the potential, and that value should be equal to 0. How many, see the potentials. If you see this particular mesh, one potential drop across this resistance, and what is the value? I into R. The value of the potential is across this resistance, I into R. Whatever the value of the potential is there. If you see here, another resistor is here. Again there is a I into R. Whatever the amount of current flowing is there, another potential difference is there. Then cell is there, potential, and after that you will reach this point P. So when you take the sum of all these three potentials, that value should be equal to 0. Right? So for that, I am writing the term like this one. Whatever the potential of P point, I am starting from this P point. Only it is indication. Few students are starting from the P point and leave the your KVL R at the R. They left the KVL at the R. So it's not. Whenever this point, your starting point, you have to end that point also. So VP. Just see what is the potential difference across this one. So see what is the direction of the I1? I1 is circulating like this one from P to Q. See the direction? I1 from P to Q. Clear? So this end is at higher potential and this end is the lower potential. See again. The I1 is flowing like that one. That means this end at higher potential, this end is the lower potential. Right? That is why current flowing from the higher potential to lower potential. Right? Plus to minus. Current always flow from plus to minus. And what is the potential difference across this one? So 4 into I1. 4 into I1. So here 4 into I1 is the potential difference across this 4 ohm resistor. Now just check whether it is gain of potential or the loss of potential. If you are moving like this one in the current direction, you are reaching from plus to minus. Plus to minus. That means there is a loss, higher potential to lower potential. हम लोग किधर जा रहे हैं? हायर से लोअर की तरफ. यानी पोटेंशियल क्या हुआ है? लॉस हुआ है. That is why here minus. See here, the potential difference is how much? I into R, Ohm's law, I into R. And because the current direction is higher potential to lower potential, that means this end is positive and this end is negative. Current always flows from positive to negative, and here we are moving from higher potential to lower potential. That means there is a loss of potential. That is why we are taking the minus sign. Right? So we start from here, reach here, Q, R, again here just 2 ohm resistor. Now, this 2 ohm resistor, what is the value of the current flowing through this 2 ohm resistor? So what is I mentioned? The dominating current is I1. Right now? Because we assumed the mesh 1, that is why the I1 is the dominating. So just first of all check what is the direction of the I1. So I1 direction is from like this one, from R to U. From R to U the direction of the current is. Clear? And I2 direction? I2 direction is also from R to U. So what is the net current flowing this one? Net current is I1 plus I2. So I1 plus I2 multiplied by this 2. So this is the potential difference across this 2 ohm resistor. Now the question is whether it is a loss of potential or the gain of potential. So loss of potential or gain of potential, what I mentioned in our procedure, I mentioned the assumed mesh current is the dominating current. Right now, that means in the mesh 1 the I1 is dominating. So what is the direction of the I1? I1 is from this side to this side. That means this is at higher potential, this is at the lower potential. Right? So from higher potential to lower potential, that is why again there is a loss of potential. Loss of potential. That is why minus. Now after that we reach this cell. From this cell we are reaching here negative to positive, minus to plus. So lower potential to higher potential. That means there is a gain of potential. So gain of potential, that means plus. Plus, and what is the value? It is 10 volt. 10 volt. Now reached here again, and this value is equal to Vp. So जहां से चले तो वहीं वापस पहुंच गए. बेटा, this value start from this Vp and end at the Vp. बेटा, starting from this potential and reaches to the same potential. This value is equal to Vp. Or this Vp is only for the indication. Sometimes few students are left any component. कई सारे रेजिस्टेंसेस लगे रहते हैं तो कई स्टूडेंट्स किसी पर्टिकुलर रेजिस्टेंस को छोड़ देते हैं, यानी यहीं से स्टार्ट किया और यहीं पे छोड़ दिया, पूरे कोर्स लूप को नहीं किया. तो इस इंडिकेशन के लिए वीपी हमने लिया. अदरवाइज यू कैन सिंपली एलिमिनेट दिस वीपी, है ना. एंड दिस इज योर स्टेटमेंट इज इक्वल टू 0. तो समेशन ऑफ डेल्टा वी इज इक्वल टू 0. दिस इज योर केवीएल, राइट ना. whatever the potential drop across each circuit element, whether it's the resistance or the cell, right? What is the potential difference in a circuit element? This in a closed loop, that should be equals to 0. So individual drop across each of the circuit elements, and that will, when you add all this potential drop, you will get 0. This is your KVL. This is your statement. Clear? Any doubt in this particular equation? If you have any doubt, no need to worry. I am going to discuss at least 5 to 6 questions of in this KVL, right now, which is related to this KVL. So no need to worry. Just try to learn the procedure, right now. And this is very important. At least 3 marks or the 5 marks question, 100% you will get in the board examination. Every year, at least one numerical is coming, either for 3 marks or the 5 marks, right now. So just see. Just simplify this statement, this equation, just simplify. So just simplify this equation. So here minus 4i1 and here you will get minus 2i1. So that becomes minus 6i1. Clear? And here you will get minus 2i2. Minus 2i2 is equals to minus 10. Right? Minus 4i1 and minus 2i1. That becomes minus 6i1. And minus 2i2, and this 10 will go that side, that will become minus 10. Just multiply the whole equation by minus 2. Just divide with the minus 2. So that will become 3i1 plus i2 is equals to 5. Right? Equation number 1. Right? Minus, just multiply with this minus, you will get the minus and also divide by 2 because 2 is common. So that becomes 3i1 plus i2 is equals to 5. So this is your first equation, which is arises when you apply the KVL on the. So this first equation arises when you apply the KVL on the mesh 1. Similarly, just apply the KVL on the mesh 2. So just note down. On applying KVL in mesh, this time what is the name of the mesh? You can take start from any point. I am taking this time T. From T point I am taking. Right now? So T, and it is better to take the mesh direction in the direction of the assumed current. You can take either T, U, R, S, T. You can take like this one, but it is better. That is for your simplification. When you solve 1, 2, 3 questions, after that it is easy to identify why I am taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current. Right now, because every time you will get, whenever there is a I into R is there, every time you are getting the minus before that. Right now, so whenever you are getting. This time I am saying you have to check whether I into R is a plus or minus. But if you are taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time you are getting minus. Right now, that becomes easy. Just see. So I am taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current. So I am taking T, S, R, U, T. Right now, that means start from the T, S, R, U, T. We start from the T and will end on the T. Just note down the values. So when you move from T, so just see here, this is negative to positive. Again, either I could take Vt or equals to Vt, or simple, you know that why I have taken the P point, because sometimes you are taking the mistake, your starting point and ending point is not same. That is why I am taking the time. But you know, if you are not comfortable for that, I am taking the direct. So from this T, this is from minus to plus. So it's a gain of potential, lower potential to higher potential, that is gain of potential, that is why plus 4. And plus 4. Now see here the current I2 is flowing like this one. So this one at the higher potential, this one at the lower potential. Current always flows from higher to lower. So this one is plus, this one is minus. So what is the potential difference? Potential difference is 4 into I2. And whether it's a gain or loss, higher to lower loss, that is why minus. right? Just reshare this 2. So again you will get I2 direction is R to U and I1 is also from R to U. That is why I1 plus I2 into 2. Now this is a plus or minus because I2 is dominating this side. This time because the mesh current is a dominating current. So this is your mesh current and is a dominating. So I2 direction. So I2 is flowing from this side to this side. That is why again it is minus. Reach here negative to positive. Gain, that is why plus 10. Reach here again equals to T, that is why 0. Whenever there is a gain of potential, you will write plus. Whenever there is a loss of potential, you have to write minus. Now let's summarize. I have applied the KVL for both the mesh. Let us summarize it and in a simple manner. What we have to apply here? In a mesh, only two types of component is here. One is resistance, second is cell. Right? So if you are finding the potential difference across resistance, it is I into R. And if you are finding the potential difference across the cell, automatically it is given. It is a 4 volt or the 6 volt or like this one. Here, like this one, it is 10 volt. So in a cell, directly the value of the potential difference is given. But for the resistance, you have to find the I into R. Right? So if you are considering the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time whenever there is a I into R term is there, every time you are getting the minus before that. Just see here. Here I into R is here, there is a minus sign. This one is the I net into R, there is a minus sign here. Similarly, see here in the second mesh, here I into R, 4 into I2, there is a minus sign. Again there is a I into R, there is a minus sign. So whenever you are taking the mesh, and if you are taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time whenever there is a I into R, the minus sign before that. Right? So if you should not check every time whether it's a loss of potential or the gain of potential. If you are considering the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time there is a loss of potential. Right? For the resistance, I am saying only for the resistance. It is easy to identify loss or gain in a cell. Automatically, you are moving from minus to plus or plus to minus. For cell, it is easy. But for the resistance, you are facing the problem whether it is plus or minus. So if you are taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time it is minus before that. You can see here, everywhere, whenever you see in both the expression, either this or this, just see whenever there is a I into R, every time there is a minus sign there. Right? So if you are following this procedure, if you are taking this one, whenever you are taking the mesh and you are taking the mesh in the direction of the assumed current, every time you are taking the minus. So you should not check every time whether it's a loss of potential or the gain of potential. Right? So just see, the two equations are here. Just simplify this equation. So here you see the I1 term. So minus 2I1 is coming here. So minus 2I1. Right? And minus 4I2 and minus 2I2. You will get minus 6I2. Clear? And this is the plus 4 and this is the plus 10. That will become plus 14, and when that will go that side, that will become minus 14. Right now? Again, just divide the whole equation by minus 2. So you will get I1 plus 3I2 is equals to 7. This is your equation number 2. Right? After simplification, you will get the equation. Just see, now we have very simple question. We have the equation number 1, which is in I1 and I2. Equation number 2, again, which is in the I1 and I2. Two equations, two variables. With the help of these two equations, simply you can find the values of I1 and I2. Right? Equation number 1, 3I1 plus I2 is equal to 5. Equation number 2, I1 plus 3I2 is equal to 7. Just simplify these two equations and you will get the value of I1 and I2. So let us simplify, finalizing this one. So the equation number 1 is 3i1 plus i2 is equal to 5, and equation number 2 is i1 plus 3i2 is equal to 7. Just simplify these two equations. Just find the values of i1 and i2. So because our question is find the current flowing through this 4 ohm resistor, that means in this resistor. So in this resistor i1 current is flowing. So basically after solving this one, our first aim to find the i1. So just simplify it like this one. So I am multiplying this equation by 3. Then the coefficient of the I1 become equal. So here 3I1 plus I2 is equal to 5, which is equation number 1, and I am multiplying the equation number 2 by 3. So that becomes 3I1 plus 9I2 is equal to 21. Just subtract the value, minus minus minus, 3I1 get cancelled out, and I2 here you will get minus 8 I2 is equals to minus 16, better, minus 16. So I2 is equal to 2 ampere. Right now, I2 is coming with a positive. Just put the value of I2 in the equation number, any equation, I'm putting in the equation number 1 and finding the I1. So 3I1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So 3I1 is equal to 5 minus 2, that become 3. So I1 is equal to 1 ampere. Just see, the I2 is 2 ampere, I1 is 1 ampere. Better? To see both the I1, I2 values in the positive. What is the indication of this positive value? That means our assumed current direction is the actual direction of the current. If the direction is reverse, then that value will be negative. Suppose the I1 is minus 1 ampere. That means we have assumed the current direction like this one, but the actual current direction is opposite direction. Opposite direction. That is why I mentioned this method is very important or unique. If you are making the mistake in the assuming the direction of the current, automatically the mathematics will correct your assumed direction of the current. Right? That is why this method is more popular. In the book method, you have to be very careful whenever you are taking the current direction. That method is very complex method, and that method is only suitable for if you have the two cell or the two cells are not arranged in a very complex manner. But this method is applicable for any combination of the resistance. That is why this method is more popular. So I2 is equal to 2 ampere, I1 is equal to 1 ampere. What is our question? Our question is what is the find the current flowing in the 4 ohm resistor. So in the 4 ohm resistor, the I1 current is flowing. So what is the value of I1? 1 ampere. So what is our answer? The current flowing in the 4 ohm resistor is 1 ampere. And this is our answer. So after solving one or two questions, that will not give you that much confidence you can solve any question. Right? So you have to take, that is why I mentioned I will give you at least 5 to 6 questions, 5 to 6 practice questions. Then when you will feel this method is very easy to apply. Right? So this, if you have any doubt in this particular question, you should ask in the comment section. But no need to worry, I will give you 5 to 6 practice questions on the same topic. Right?